Take her away, Ian.
Yeah, take it away, Ernie. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Fell over? What you fell over for?
Out for a little walk in the moonlight.
7:30. Where were we at 7:30?
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
Turn to page 394.
You foul, loathsome, evil little cockroach!
I didn't mean to.
Mischief managed.
You and your bloody chicken.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to Retold, the podcast where I retell you my favorite story of all time, Harry Potter. If you're new here, what we normally do is we play some trivia, Harry Potter trivia. We talk about 2 chapters from the books, and we have some fun little segments after each chapter discussion where we talk about our favorite lines, behind-the-scenes lore, book-to-movie changes, and at the very end of the show, we have a restricted section. But I'm never on this journey alone. I always have with me special guests. And this week I am rejoined by the one, the only, Emily.
Yay. Hello, everybody.
I liked watching you bounce with each syllable. I said, the one, the only.
I was feeling the vibe.
And the audience can see me doing that visual podcast. But Emily, welcome back on the show. We're glad to have you here. You're a fan favorite. You currently have the most listened to episode. It may be the first episode, so it makes the most sense. But the people love you. I love hanging out with you and talking Potter with you. So we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
And since you've been on, you've become rather famous.
I kind of have. Yeah.
Can you tell the people about your I know you've become somewhat famous through this podcast, of course, but what this podcast has launched you towards now?
Yeah. Because this definitely happened because of the podcast.
Of course.
So I went to Dragon Con in Atlanta this year. It's always Labor Day weekend, and we were arriving and driving through the city on our way to park somewhere where we could find parking. And we noticed the banners advertising the con. They always have usually a cosplayer on there. And I look over and I'm like, oh, it's a Wednesday cosplayer, which I've done Wednesday before. And I love that show. And then I kind of did a double take, and I was like, oh, that is me. And the whole street, down the line, every single banner had me. And it was me and one other person who did a Mandalorian cosplay on the other side. So the whole time we're walking around, I'm looking up at a big banner of myself. And it was such a surprise. I had no idea. And I was definitely ego boosted for sure. But it was really fun. It was a good time.
Wait a minute. I know that person.
It was chaos. We screamed for 10 minutes. It was so fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. You sent me the picture of it. And I was like, we need to steal that. I have a truck. Let me know. We'll get a ladder, some bolt cutters, and we'll get one of those down. I wonder if they would pursue legal means. Since there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Why not? But that's so cool. I'm going to put it up on if that's okay, on the Instagram. Yeah, show it off. But I'll put it up on the Instagram the week this episode comes out so people can see just how incredibly famous you are.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want an autograph, just reach out. No one recognized me, though.
Really?
The whole time I was walking around, one person, while I did my Wednesday cosplay, was taking a picture of me on the street. And the banner had to have been behind me or something. And I could see his eyes going back and forth. And he was like, wait a minute.
That's what
I know who you are.
That's exactly what I would have done the whole time, is just stand under that sign and people walk by. Hey. That's me.
Autograph, $5.
They make some bank doing autographs.
Oh yeah, I know.
I went to $100. Yeah, I did. I went to Collecticon last year in Atlanta, and Miley Flanagan, the woman who voices Naruto from Naruto, I wanted to get an autograph from her, and I was looking at the prices for her and for everybody else. There are some people that it is over $100. She wasn't that expensive, but there are people that that's crazy. I also learned that apparently voice actors don't make a whole lot from their roles, like
Yeah,
not as
that's
much as
true.
you would expect. And a lot of their money does come from cons. So I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Mhm.
Fair enough. I want that woman to be well supported. She changed my childhood. But now that you're famous, we're glad to have you here. You can be one of those people now that's like the super famous people that brings more listeners to the pod.
Yep.
And so we're going to hop into it. Chapters 9 and 10 from the Prisoner of Azkaban. We'll be discussing, what are the names of them? It's A Grim Defeat and the Marauder's Map.
Yes.
Ooh. You specifically requested these chapters.
I did.
Is there any specific reason for that, or is it something we should get to later?
I feel like these chapters have, especially Marauder's Map, have a lot of turning point information. And I think that I like Grim Defeat just because it has the like really intense Quidditch.
Yeah.
I feel like the 2 intense Quidditch match scenes in the book, and I feel like it's a lot of fun.
You just wanted to see Harry lose in a Quidditch match.
No, that's why I'm so stressed out.
No, we wanted to see our boys Hufflepuff take the dub.
No,
Woo.
I'm Gryffindor for the win. I was like, no.
Well, then they say the next match, Ravenclaw destroyed Hufflepuff. And I was like, all right, never mind. She probably liked that. That's what it was. Well, without further ado, listeners, we're going to hop into our Quizzitch section. Now, Emily, I'm going to be honest. I'm somewhat out of sorts. Cattywampus, one might say, in my editing process. And I can't remember what the score is. This is book 2 all over again.
So you're losing and you don't want to say it.
No, I was going to get to that. I definitely am losing.
Okay.
I definitely am. And I am losing, listeners. The score currently is 8-5 with the world in the lead. I started out so confident because my wife was on the first episode. I beat her 2-1. And then Micah, that episode came out like today. A little peek behind the curtain, listeners. That episode came out today and he beat me 2-0. So guests took the lead. And I remember the next 2 guests, they also did better than me. Okay. So at the very best, I am only down by 3 points.
Oh, and I'm here to even the score for you. I see.
Hey, no, we scheduled this out long before.
It's going to be like, what was the flea on Crookshanks's hide doing? Was he dancing? Or it's going to be like the most obscure question ever.
I asked Zach a question. It was like, what nostril did Lupin shoot the gum into on Peeves? But that's a 50-50 question. You know, is that left or right? I think you got it right too. But hopping into it now, I don't know the score. Future Barry will come in and say it. But you kick us off, Emily. What is your first question?
All right. First Quizzitch question. What does Hermione say she's going to get her parents from Honeydukes?
Oh, the candy floss.
Should I give that to
you?
you?
Sweet floss, candy floss. Please give it to me.
I will give it to you because you did say floss, and that's like, I feel like, is tooth flossing string mints?
Tooth flossing string mints. Okay. I'll take a half a point.
Okay.
I'll do a half a point.
Gotcha.
I was like, please, I need something. I've been thinking all day, like, I need this so much. All right, let me find. I have 3. Yeah, I usually write down 3 questions in case I have the same one as the guest. So I'll find it easier too. All right.
Thanks.
What spell does Hermione use on Harry's glasses?
Impervious.
Impervious is correct. Ding, ding, ding. Yay. I mean, boo. Rats. Oh, no. Okay. What's your next question?
Okay. When the teachers are in the 3 broomsticks, what drink does Professor Flitwick get?
I was going to cry if you asked me for all of them.
No, I'm not that intense.
Okay. You know what's weird is Hagrid just says ta, like T-A. And I was like, what does that mean? Does that mean tea? Yeah,
no, he's like ta, like thank you.
Oh. I know.
Right? Other people,
maybe,
international people,
sure.
let us know, please.
It was just in the list of all the drinks, you know? So
well, she was like,
each person was saying their
passing them
drinks.
out, listing them, and they'd be like, thank you. And he said ta, Rosmerta.
Okay. I know McGonagall got gilly water.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got rum.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't Flitwick, was it?
You need to be certain in your answer.
Oh, that's the only one I can remember. So I'm going to say rum.
No, it was the cherry syrup and soda.
No.
I thought it was funny. It was like a cherry syrup and soda with ice and an umbrella. And he's like kicking his feet in the stool.
Yeah. I'm already so bummed out for the rest of this podcast.
No, this should not.
I'm going to go back and re-edit every episode to change
You're
the
going to
score.
re-edit and be like, the correct answer. Like,
He
right.
did order rum. She got the American copy, but the official first edition British version, which is what I read every time. No. Okay. All right. I will ask you your next question. What did Hannah Abbott say Sirius Black could turn into?
Oh my gosh, a flowering shrub?
You know what? Screw you. I picked the harder one of the two. Oh my gosh.
I just remember being like, why did you decide to die on that hill, girl? And she's like, it's a flowering shrub.
You know what? I want a full point for the first question.
You can have it.
Thank you.
I'll be benevolent.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not that competitive.
You know, I'm not either anymore. Apparently, I'm too far behind to be competitive. Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. I will ask you one more just for funsies.
Just for funsies.
What spell does Harry use to get past the one-eyed witch?
Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me?
It starts with a D, right?
Yes.
It's like Diffidium or something.
I'm going to be so mad if you don't know it. I should have asked you this one.
I don't know. It was like
He's trying to go down. Starts with a D. Staircases that go down, they
de-escalator.
De-escalator. They descend.
Descendium.
There you go. Descendium.
Thank you.
All right. Well, audience, I don't care anymore. I don't want to ask you your question. Okay. I actually, I don't think I asked them a question last week because I had to use the backup for Zach's. Mm-hmm. So Future Barry will come in and give them the answer to last week's question. Hello. I will now tell you what your question is this week. But first, real quick, an updated score after my match with Emily this week. It is 10-6 with the world maintaining and growing their lead over me. Boo. But your Quizzitch question from last week was, what item does Fred say he needed to get from Zonko's? And the answer to that question was stink pellets. That was your answer for last week. So good job if you got that right.
Yay.
And if you got it wrong, better luck next time. Next time being right now. What, dear listeners, what time does Peeves wake up Harry on the morning of the Quidditch match? You know, he's in there just blowing cold air on his neck, which is really creepy. I don't like that poltergeist can just wander around and do that.
I'm looking at the Peeves gif.
Yeah, I have it up on the screen.
He's staring at me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over there to the Hinky Punks. Much better, Hinky Punk. But anyway, so what time did Peeves wake up Harry? And if you want to answer that question, you can write into theretoldpodcast@gmail.com. Submit your answers there or on Instagram at theretoldpodcast. Now, without further ado, let's get into Chapter 9, our coverage, our retelling, as it were. All right. So if we remember last time, Sirius has just broken into the castle, and Daddy Dumbledore assembles all the kiddos from every house into the Great Hall, says, my bad, y'all. No big deal, but we did let a murderer in. That's our bad. Honestly, we should have blamed the Dementors about this. They should have blamed the Dementors about this. Been like, it's not our fault.
Yeah.
They let him in. But that's our bad. Anyway, he conjures up some sleeping bags for everyone and tells them to sleep. Tells them to sleep well. Two things I like about that part. Mm-hmm. One, it says he's about to walk out the door, but he turns around and he casually flicks his wrist and gets rid of all the tables and then produces sleeping bags for them. Mm-hmm. And then he tells them to sleep well. And I'm like, how can they sleep well after something like that?
Something really scary just happened, but I hope you guys have good sleep.
Like the other night, I remember I was thinking about what I would do if an intruder broke into the house. Mm-hmm. I was running through all the different, because my wife had asked me, I was sleeping fine. I was literally about to go to bed just fine. And my wife asked me, hey, just in case something like that happens, what is the protocol? And I told her it. And then she went to bed just fine. But me, I was laying there like, running through 100 different scenarios now,
my
can't get to
gosh.
sleep. And I can't imagine, like, just something goes small bump in the night. I hear my dog bark slightly, and I'm like, well, what's going on?
Because it's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to me. Yeah, they have a murderer in the castle. They can't sleep well. So anyway, he leaves, and all the kiddos start to gossip. But Percy tells everybody to go to bed. The trio grabs their sleeping bags and finds themselves a nice little corner to chit-chat. They speculate about how Sirius Black got in the castle, but Hermione fact checks them every time.
Yes, she does. Hogwarts history.
I love, what is it? Ron says, like, she goes, am I the only one who's read Hogwarts history? He's like, yeah, probably. But go ahead. What are you saying? And people can't just apparate into Hogwarts, Emily. All right.
No, they cannot.
They can't. They have special protections that you would learn if you had just read the freaking book, Ron. So anyway, later that night, Dumby comes back in and tells Percy that Sirius is gone. Snape tries to gossip to Dumbledore, but Dumbledore is like, bro, not in front of the students. What are you doing? He walks off. I like Ron's reaction to Snape because, Snape kind of is looking angry, and he basically just looks at Harry eyes wide like, dramatic. What's going on there? The next day, the fat lady's portrait is replaced with Sir Cadogan. Do you say Cadogan or Cadogan?
I say Cadogan because that's what they say in the audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume that was right.
That's canon. That's what we're sticking with. That's what I go with. I think somebody before, I forget, I think it was Dan from Harry Potter, Hogwarts, a podcast. He was like, I say Cadogan. And I was like, oh, cool.
That's okay.
Weird.
Some people read it and they never hear it.
Some people hear it and never read it.
Exactly.
Anyway, no one else was brave enough to take the job of guarding the Gryffindor entrance. So good for him. I do like the note that said nobody was really happy about this. Like, I like the complete break in the text just for that little quick line. Teachers are also tailing Harry everywhere he goes, so he can't get a moment's peace to himself. McGonagall calls him in and says, hey, bud, got some bad news. Harry cuts her off, says, hey, I already know. All right, I heard Arthur talking to his wife. Sorry, I mean Mr. Weasley talking to his wife, not first name basis. And I know that guy's trying to kill me. And she's like, cool. So we're in agreement. No more Quidditch for you. It's too dangerous. Harry says, cut the crap, McG. We know you don't mean that. She's like, you right. I'll just send Hooch to watch y'all. She ain't doing anything anyway. Mm-hmm. They do find out that they'll be facing Hufflepuff instead of Slytherin. And Emily, Hufflepuff has a new captain.
Cedric Diggory.
Cedric Diggory.
The tall, handsome one.
What is it they say? Yeah,
the tall, good-looking one, isn't he?
Yeah, and then also the strong and silent.
Oh, yeah.
I always love hearing Jim Dale do those voices, too. But the girls on the team giggle. They're like, oh, that's the vampire from Twilight. Fred tells Oliver Wood not to worry. It's only Hufflepuff after all. Jeez. Mm-hmm. What is it? It had to be intentional when he says, like, we're taking Hufflepuff seriously. Seriously. Like he said them both. The next day, off to a rough start. Malfoy's talking trash now, complaining about his arm too, even though he's not really hurt. And Oliver Wood keeps sidetracking Harry from class with last-minute Quidditch advice, telling him, hey, Cedric Diggory does one thing. I forget what he says. You should loop him instead, though. At one point, he even makes Harry late for class. But he's off to Defense Against the Dark Arts. And Emily, Professor Lupin teaches that class.
He's so chill.
Yeah, it's no big deal. It's all right. It's just going to be all right that he's a little late. I mean, sure, Professor Lupin would completely Wait, what? Lupin isn't there. Oh, no.
What is this?
Emily, it's Snape. He's teaching that class. And he sucks so bad as Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. He keeps talking trash about Lupin. He's talking trash about the students, about Harry. Everybody can get it. It makes me think of that one, the slap meme. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's the meme of it's a short video. These two kids are fighting over something, and the girl says to her dad, like, hey, he's being mean. And the dad ends up, it's in like some backyard, and the dad slaps the boy. And they're like, like, Henry, you can't do that. And they walk up to him and he slaps them. And each person comes up one by one and he just keeps slapping. The police show up. He just slaps them too. That's Snape in this class right now. Anybody can get it. I like, it's this interesting moment where Harry says that when he's talking trash about Lupin, he's like, you guys, you haven't even learned about, and it says he turns to the back of the book and he goes, werewolves. Yep. Harry's like, of course we haven't. He just flipped to the back of the book because that he knew we wouldn't have gotten that far yet. It's November, my guy. But yeah, Snape says they're too far behind and he starts teaching them about werewolves, even though, like I said, it's in the back of their textbooks.
Yeah.
There is a really sad Hermione moment where, she's trying to explain that she knows what the difference is between a werewolf and an actual wolf. And Snape just, again, this is one of those moments that makes you hate book Snape.
So much.
All those people that defend Snape, I'm like, you only know movie Snape. And if you're defending book Snape, you're a psychopath. Yeah. All right. You're wrong. Cause he just is so mean to Hermione in this moment, calls her an insufferable know-it-all. And there is like a sad moment too in the text where Harry says like everybody felt bad because everybody had at least called her that once. But that moment, and she's got tears in her eyes, it's followed up by an awesome Ron moment.
Yes, my favorite Ron moment.
So something, I rewatch shows a lot. It's like a comfort thing. I think a lot of us do this. And every time I start to like pick up more on or focus on something new, we just recently started rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I'm focusing more on the character of Sokka. And I'm like, I'm relating a lot to Sokka. I'm liking Sokka a lot, like the sexist stuff aside, which is at the very beginning of his arc. But I'm really like relating to this guy. I am enjoying his character more so than before. In this read through, I'm enjoying Ron's character much more than I had before. I was thinking the
same thing. It's like I focus in more on Ron, even though Ron does so many things that disappoint and upset me. But like he has these golden moments every time, and it's like he just comes right back to the top for me.
He's a very I guess you would say feelings on his sleeve type character, and he runs hot and cold. More so than almost anybody else. So he has those very frustrating moments where he's complaining about something or he gets frustrated about something. But the moments like this where he sticks up for his friends, I love it. So basically he just tells Snape, what the frick, man? Why are you going to ask the question if you don't want the answer?
Period.
Awesome. So anyway, and Snape tells him, yeah, well, detention. Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Anyway, the rest of class is awful. Harry can't figure out why Snape hates Lupin so much. And Ron finds out that his detention will be to scrub the bedpans in the hospital wing without magic. Ew. Now, one thing I did think of, this isn't going to happen. So small spoiler warning over something that won't happen. But I was thinking, last book, Ron got some pretty valuable information from his detention where he had to do something through manual labor. And I was like, how wild would it have been if they did that again and Ron saw like some secret message in the bedpans when he's scrubbing him later? Like, oh, I remember this actually from that detention. If some information that he learned during that detention came in useful later.
That would be hilarious, actually.
That would have been funny. Fanfic. Somebody write it. So anyway, Peeves makes me uncomfortable. That's my next note. So we talked about it earlier. He wakes Harry up, blowing cold air on his neck. Ghosts should not be allowed into dorm rooms that early in the morning. Really weird. Anyway, Harry gets up, heads out of the dorm. He talks to the cat. I like that. Whenever he's leaving the classroom, genuinely talking to it as if it has complete human intellect knowledge.
Well, it's a cat, so it does.
Certainly. But not everybody believes that, So Harry is a believer in the wit of the cat.
Yes.
But I like that. Just picks him up. Sorry. And says like, oh, what does he say? Something like, leave
Scabbers alone.
Yeah. I reckon Ron was right about you. You need to get out of here, and pushes him up. And then as he's chilling down there the whole rest of the time, it says he's contemplating and every once in a while stopping Crookshanks from going up and sneaking into their dorm. After some brekkie, it's Quidditch time. And Emily, the weather is not so good.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's pouring down rain, thunder and lightning going on. In our world, we cancel when the lightning shows up. Like any sporting event, lightning starts. Even in the pros, when lightning starts happening, outdoor event, as a no-go. Not at Hogwarts, though.
That's crazy to me. Like, there's lightning. They're in the sky.
I know they're flying. They're even closer to it.
Talking about?
I like the note that says, there's one point in the chapter where he says that he even calls this out specifically, saying that no bit of like lightning or thunderstorm would stop a Hogwarts Quidditch match. And I was like, why not? Why the frick not?
We should question this, really.
Have you ever been to I know you don't do the sports ball much, but have you ever been to a sporting event in the rain?
I believe so. I think I've been to a Braves game where it started raining. Mm-hmm. It's fun. Like the energy is fun.
It's a nice vibe.
But they just like cleared the field and they like covered it with like that thing to not get it wet. Yeah,
baseball doesn't usually stick out there, but in some of the other sports, like I grew up playing soccer. When it was pouring down rain during a soccer match, as long as it's not lightninging, we're still out there.
Dang, really?
And it's a cool vibe. It's such a cool vibe. You feel like a warrior, even though I was just a private school kid.
Like, for Sparta!
For our 0-8 record. Actually, we're good at soccer. That was like the only thing. But anyway, I did enjoy sporting events in the rain, but this is too much.
Too much.
Captains go to shake hands. Nice guy, Cedric Diggory.
He's just so sweet.
He's he's so sweet. He smiles at Wood. Okay, it's in sharp contrast to previous Quidditch matches where Oliver Wood goes up to Marcus Flint, and I almost said Mundungus, and I was like, that's not. He's not here yet.
MF.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay. Careful now. But anyway, he goes up and shakes his hand, and it says like in the text back then that they were like trying to break each other's hands. But here, Cedric's smiling at him, and Wood, it says
he's like, I cannot do this right now.
Just like lockjaw, just like
I'm emotionally unable.
Yeah, he's very distant right now. But good guy, Diggory. Lots of good stuff with him, and even more throughout this match. But anyway, match starts, and off they go. It's raining. Fangs and Crookshanks out there.
Tee.
Do you like that?
But
you get it because instead of cats and dogs, it's no, I should have probably had it flip Crookshanks and Fangs.
Yeah,
but Fang and Crookshanks sound a little better. So
okay.
Did you hear in the first episode of this book when you remember the trend when people were renaming everything a type of doggo?
Yeah.
I called the owls Hootie Air Doggos. Did you like that one? Pretty good, right? Pretty good. And then I called the Monster Book of Monsters a Page Flippy Doggo.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm glad you like it. I'm going to keep that in. I was thinking about cutting it since the listeners already heard it, but I received validation this time. Bailey told me it was not good. So I'm glad you liked it. So anyway, raining Fangs and Crookshanks out there. Time goes by and Wood calls for a timeout. And Harry finds out that they're up by 50 points. Yay! But he hasn't been able to see anything because of all the rain on his glasses. Boo! But no problem. From stage left comes Hermione, and she casts what spell?
Impervious.
That's right. She casts Impervious on Harry's glasses. Honestly, should have cast it on like their clothes, their brooms.
I'm like, looking at the older students, like, why don't y'all know this?
I know. She just showed up and did it. And then Wood is too focused.
Yeah, he's got one track going. Mm-hmm.
That's why they like tell you in battle, you need to remain calm. All right. Assess the situation. Remember the last time you've been in battle? All right. Remain very calm so you can assess the situation. So back off they go into the storm. Harry's looking this way and that. At one point, he sees a dog in the stands, and I didn't know that they let dogs into the Quidditch stadium. That's so nice. Harry must not like dogs, though, because he doesn't enjoy that. He almost falls off his broom. Anyway, oh no! Diggory has found the snitch, and he's racing towards it. Oliver Wood's like, Harry, get your head out of your butt and go get that snitch. Harry starts racing towards it, but is stopped by just a slight security breach, So, you would expect a slight security breach would be something like 1 Dementor. No. 2 Dementors. No. How many Dementors? 100 mother-freaking Dementors have just snuck onto the field.
Oh, my gosh.
When I read that, I forgot that it was that many. And
that is a lot.
It said 100. And I was like, holy freaking crap. How did nobody stop this before? Like,
I wonder
before they got out
because
there.
you know how in the movie it's like you think it's an umbrella and it's like flying around. And
That's a good movie direction.
It's
I like
so
that.
good. I wonder if they're like behind a cloud or something. Like a cloud passes and then they're all suddenly there, or if everybody's
with
just
the
watching
rain.
them slowly make their way. Over.
Oh, that
What
makes
are they
sense.
doing?
Par for the course here at Hogwarts.
I just want to watch.
I think that's just want to watch. That's all it is. Maybe they were looking for a doggy. Anyway, so when Harry falls off his broom, I did think though, because like Dumbledore, stops his fall, but it said that he was immediately out on the field. So maybe Dumbledore had seen the Dementors and was already walking down there, but he's kind of old, so it takes him a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, Harry hears someone scream. He passes out. He wakes up later in the hospital only to realize that Gryffindor lost the Quidditch match. Diggory tried to be sportsmanlike, though. What a guy.
He's so sweet.
He's so sweet. It says when he caught the snitch, he was like, he turned around, saw that Harry, was having a seizure, and, and that a bunch of super dark creatures were on the field. And he was like, hey, maybe this wasn't a fair win. Can we redo it? Can we run it back? And what's wild to me is I think Fred says, but hey, there wasn't anything we can do. They won fair and square.
That does not seem fair.
He literally says they won fair and square. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Quidditch is intense. They don't care, man.
No, they if somebody died out there, I don't know if they would stop them.
They'd have an altar ready to take the place. Like, it's crazy.
So rough time at Hogwarts High. And their chances of winning the Quidditch Cup are much, much smaller than before. This is where we learn that Dumbledore wasn't happy about the Dementors, and Harry's broom is also dead. Flew off into the Whomping Willow.
Rest in pieces.
Oh, what is it Ron says when he's like, it hit the Whomping Willow, and the Whomping Willow doesn't like being hit. And that's basically the end of the chapter. Yay!
Yay!
All right, now moving on to our favorite lines from the chapter. Emily, what you got?
Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Okay, since we were just there, while they're all gathered around Harry in the hospital wing, Harry asks, "Where's Wood?" said Harry, suddenly realizing he wasn't there. "Still in the showers," said Fred. "We think he's trying to drown himself."
Oh, I know. I think it's funny. I think Wood does have the wherewithal to not blame Harry for this, but he's also incredibly ticked off and upset about what's going on here. So one that I did kind of mention, but I really liked this was, honestly, am I the only person who's ever bothered to read Hogwarts: A History, said Hermione, crossly to Harry and Ron. Probably, said Ron. Why?
Yes.
His comedic genius in these books is shining. We already talked about it, but it's so good already. I love it. What's another one you got?
Short one, short and sweet, but iconic nonetheless. Turn to page 394.
I'm so glad you said that. I forgot to mention it. Oh, thank you. Yes, turn to page 394. I'm nervous now to do impressions. I was telling you before the pod, when I was listening to a previous episode of hearing myself doing impressions, I was like, I sound like a loser. But you've emboldened me. I will keep going.
Keep
in
going.
My
Do
destructive
it. Live
way.
your truth.
But yes, that line is iconic. I love it. It's part of the theme song, part of the theme music that is for this book. So anyway, one of my other favorite lines was, Harry knew better than to think that the match would be canceled. Quidditch matches weren't called off for trifles like thunderstorms. True. We discussed this. What's another one you got?
Stand and fight, you mangy cur, yelled Sir. Oh, shut up, Harry yawned.
Yeah, okay, you win. So here's the thing. Sometimes I pretend to be a much better person than I am. And I don't often let people know the inner machinations of my mind. And one of the things I sometimes assess is who had the better favorite lines when I'm talking to my guest hosts. You won. That is the better one.
You.
That is the better one. My last one, similar to, I already said it, but, well, the Whomping Willow, said Ron, it doesn't like being hit. True. Makes me think of book 2. He knows all about it. He knows. Anyway, that's all my favorite lines. Did you have any more?
that's it for that chapter.
That's it for that chapter, listeners. All right. Now, for our next section, we're going to get to differences, the Transfigurations section, which is differences between the book and the movie. So, listeners, we're going to have a little fun time here. Normally, I write them all down beforehand. We're a little haphazard today. And so I just have the wiki pulled up. We're going to assess all these differences together. Maybe sometimes when I look at the wiki's actually wrong.
Yeah, the first one is wrong.
What is it? Sir Cadogan never appears in the film. That is wrong. He is in the film. I mean, he doesn't have as high of a role.
Yeah, I don't know if they name him, but you see him in the background.
Yeah.
How that happens.
And so in the regular version of the movie, he is, he like you said, he's running around through the portraits, but there's a deleted scene where they do interact with him. I think there's like 2 or 3 deleted scenes that he is in the movie. It does say, though, that the Sir Cadogan is the protagonist of a bonus game in the DVD. Oh, that's right. I remember that in the special features that you could go on like an adventure with him.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. That would have been a nice golden snitch if I had looked that up earlier, Barry. Sorry, audience. But anyway, it is true that his role is diminished. So anyway, the next one, it mentions that Snape substitutes for Lupin and Harry is 10 minutes late and Snape takes away 10 points. Then another 5 when Harry's told to sit down. But I don't know.
In the movie, he's already
he's not late. Snape's late, kind of, it seems.
Okay, I feel like it's different, but I think Snape's entrance is so iconic. And he's like swishing his wand and he's closing all the blinds and he's like, get it dark and musty. And I don't know how.
Whoa, musty. That's crazy.
He's in the dungeon all the time. That's how he likes it, you know? He's trying to get that homey feel for him.
Okay.
And the dramatics of it. He's just so like.
Sure. Keep going.
Yeah. He knows how to do it.
Listeners, I wish you could see all of Emily's dances over here trying to justify her.
His little twirl. Okay, I'm done.
No, yes, that is an iconic entrance, but I guess that is a difference that Harry's not late. Snape shows up last during that class. One of the other differences is that werewolves are at the very back of their book in the book. But in the movie, Hermione says like, hey, we're going to start it in just a few weeks in the movie, which would mean that they would finish the whole book in just a few weeks. And that's not true. That would be like the last thing they cover, which would make sense for some restricted section stuff. All right. Another thing, let's see. What occurs in the scene in heaven in the book? Oh yeah, they don't include their projector. They don't include Snape's projector in the book.
I know. I was like, where did that come from?
Oh, and that's a different one, I guess. So another difference, listeners, is that in the book, Snape asks for the difference between a werewolf and a regular wolf.
Yes, I actually wrote that down.
Yeah, but in the movie, he asks for the difference between a werewolf and an animagus. So
he's like, wink, wink.
Trying to give him all the info. Oh, and this is a bad one. So I've been noticing like a lot more positive movie changes in this go round, but I don't like this one. After Snape calls Hermione an insufferable know-it-all, Ron states, he's right, to Harry. Whereas, in the book, he gets ticked off and calls out Snape and gets upset with him. Not a good change. Anyway, the other ones, let's see. The Quidditch match is much more meaningful in the book. Whereas in the movie, it starts off, they're already there. There's no Harry waking up, going to breakfast, going down there. Yeah, there's not really any mention of Oliver Wood.
We don't see him at all.
But you know what? They do him dirty in the first 2 movies every time. Because in movie 1, he gets hit in the stomach with the bludger and he falls down. And in movie 2, the bludger destroys his broom. So
he's probably like, I'm not coming back.
Much different Oliver Wood. But yeah, Harry the Dementors storm the field in the book. But in the movie, as we said earlier, they were up in the sky, and that's where they get him. Also, Hermione never comes out and casts the impervious spell on his glasses. And we never know that, Cedric tries to call for a new match afterwards.
We don't even meet Cedric. They don't introduce him.
I don't think that's even Robert Pattinson that plays him, because you do see the Hufflepuff Seeker go off.
And it completely is out of what happened in the. Now I'm mad about it. Why is so the Seeker is reaching for the Snitch, and then he gets electrocuted, which I'm like, oh, Like, that will leave.
Probably should have called the match. at
Yeah,
that
that's
point.
pretty bad. And then Harry is the one going after it, but then he falls because of the Dementors. But I'm like, then the match never got finished because the way that the match
you would have think that
ends-
that Cedric would have been like dead after he got
Yeah.
electrocuted. So
like, I know they're magical, but dang, they're not like invincible.
that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I guess. Oh my goodness, this is another one that it mentions is that in the film, Katie Bell crashes after her broom catches fire. I do remember. You remember that scene because the lightning hits her broom and catches it on fire, and she crashes.
They're
So-
like trying to show how bad the storm is.
yeah,
Yes.
the movie is really just crapping on these students during their Quidditch match. They love violence in these movies.
The other thing I noticed, well, one, we don't see the dog as the Grim.
Mhm.
We see that like cloud
Yeah,
thing that looks like
Mhm.
the Grim, and then they've replaced the like dialogue of like Lily begging for Harry's life
Mhm.
with just like, like, it's like this like tea kettle scream. I was like, okay.
It blends well with the train whistle when it first
like, the
happens on the
first-
train.
And I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Filmmakers. But then the second one, it's like they could have done.
Yeah, that's another thing we should mention too is that that's all it ever stays in the movie.
Mhm.
But throughout the books, Harry gets more and more of the dialogue from his mother the night that she is murdered. So yeah, those are your transfigurations, dear listeners. Now moving on to our golden snitches, which are behind the scenes, little lore grabs, lore tids and bits. The first one I have is Argyllshire. Is that how you say Argyllshire? And so Argyllshire is mentioned. It says that the fat lady like ran off to a map of Argyllshire. That's where she was like camping out. But just a behind the scenes thing, this is in Hogwarts Legacy. You can go throughout the castle and you can find it. Emily and I are looking at the map right now, but listeners, excuse me, you'll just have to Google it yourself. I just burped. Try to be professional. It's a good thing I had gum earlier. But anyway, there's a map. You can check it out on the wiki, or you can play the Hogwarts Legacy video game. And it says in 1890, the Wizard's Field Guide contained a map of Argyllshire, which noted that this is cool. The Hebrides, the native range of the Hebridean black dragon, were in Argyllshire. So this is like the homeland of a particular type of dragon. So that's kind of cool. And then the other golden snitch we have, which is 2 for this chapter, the other one is the Hinky Punk, because, Hermione says, we're not meant to start werewolves yet. We're supposed to be talking about Hinky Punks. And Hinky Punks, they kind of creepy. Like, they're super creepy.
The picture is really creepy.
They make me think of, and I'll explain it in just a second, but they make me think of anglerfish, with their little lights that lead fishies astray. A Hinky Punk was a diminutive one-legged magical beast with the appearance of a wispy blue, gray, or white smoke. It had a proclivity for luring travelers off their path at night into treacherous bogs or wetlands under the guise of a helpful lamp-bearing being. They were impish varmints. That's a good insult.
You varmint.
Like, you impish varmint who revel. We need a cowboy, and we have a knight. We need a cowboy as a Hogwarts portrait. Impish varmints who revel in inconveniencing magical folk and non-magical folk alike. They don't discriminate. Anybody can catch these hands.
Mm-hmm.
They could propel fireballs far from their lamps, causing serious damage.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty sick. They also sporadically emitted hollering and grunting noises. Okay.
I'm telling you, if you see a lantern at night, go the other way.
I wonder what that's.
Like, what is it? What is that?
Ow!
They're just trying to indicate.
Let's see. The Hinky Punk was short and stout in appearance. Oh, like a little
like a
teapot.
teapot.
Yeah. With no apparent eyes, ears, mouth, or nose. I'm
Okay.
getting all the songs. Their translucent and cloudy form gave the impression that they were comprised entirely of wispy white smoke. They had maggoty body shapes. What?
I don't like these things.
With 2 protruding arms and 1 thick supporting leg, the latter feature of which causing their characteristic hobble. Last one I'll say here. One could avoid confrontation with the Hinky Punk by simply moving out of their throwing range. Well, that's not helpful. It's like, how do you protect against it? by leaving it the frick alone.
Mm-hmm.
However, if one was close enough to a hinky punk, the creature would throw flame from its lantern, and therefore destruction was advised. That doesn't sound. Oh, like you would fight against it. Okay. The following method was recommended: trap the hinky punk in a corner or approach it in a tight space. Perform Lumos Duo. What is that made up? Are you real? On the hinky punk in question until it solidifies. And we're back. While the hinky punk is still solid and dazed, blinded by wand light, attack it with the knockback jinx 3 to 5 times, thereby causing it to disappear in a puff of white smoke. This sounds like video game stuff.
Yeah, it really does.
That probably is what you have to do in the video game to beat it.
Does this ever show up in Hogwarts Legacy?
I think so. The hinky punk, last one behind the scenes, is the name for a will-o'-the-wisp in southwestern England. And we know what those, I mean, I don't really know. I've just heard that name thrown around. But yeah, hinky punks under the name will-o'-wisp played a crucial role in Pixar's animated film Brave. Ooh, very nice. Anyway, that's all I really got because we're moving on to the next chapter. Yay! All right. So I need a break before we get going with chapter 10.
Nope.
Fantastic. All right. Chapter 10, the Marauders map. My first note was poor Nimbus. All right. Because it's all broken and destroyed. I related to the part where it said that, when Harry, Madame Pomfrey was trying to get him to get rid of the Nimbus after it's been destroyed and all of the splinters of it are in a bag. And I liked the note where it said Harry knew he was being stupid, but he couldn't say goodbye to it. It was like losing a friend.
Yeah. And
for a kid who was orphaned and alone and abused most of his life, I could see how inanimate objects would become friends. It's like, if you've been watching the anime Gachi Yakuta, that happens in that. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? That sounds like a weird name, doesn't it?
It's such a random poll.
It's funny because I don't think that word is even used in the anime yet. It's a brand new anime. It's really good. Listeners, check it out. In spite of the weird name. Anyway, Harry gets some visitors. All right, this was interesting too. So a few people come visit him. One of them is Jenny, and she's all blushing, and she gives him a get well card that she made herself.
So sweet.
And this is what I thought was really interesting about it. It was a singing card. Okay. Now, if you remember last year, she sent him the singing telegram.
Yeah.
This seems to be the way that she shows love is through music. Now, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but one thing that we know about the way that Molly Weasley feels romance is she gathers the family around to play Celestina Warbeck. And she remembers that her and Arthur had their first dance to this song and she vibes with it. So that she's like, humans are creatures that imitate. She sees this is how her mom loves her dad is through music. Mm-hmm. And she's doing the same thing with Harry.
That's so sweet.
Isn't it? Oh, look at that. Good job, me on that pool. Anyway, Harry knows that no one can really cheer him up, though, because they're all trying to help him out with, the Quidditch, saying it's no big deal. It's just a game of Quidditch. But he's like, I haven't even told y'all half of it. I've really been thinking about, the murder of my mom and dad. And that's a pretty tough one to get over. He's also upset about the Grimm sightings, and that's not okay either. Excuse me. The Grimms, because he's seen the Grimm twice now, and he's like, is this thing going to hunt me until I die? Worried the Dementors will keep bringing his parents' voice. I do like in the text, especially the way Jim Dale narrates it at that one section where it says, because Harry knew what those voices were. This is when he finally realizes that it's the voice of his mother crying out and the voice of Voldemort laughing on the night of the murder. But I do like the way Jim Dale delivers that line in the audiobooks. Anyway, Monday is here. Yay! And Harry is out of the hospital. Malfoy stinks. That's my first note because he's making fun of Harry. A lot of Malfoy just imitates Harry a lot. It's why he's so obsessed with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My next note is go Ron because it says he throws a crocodile heart at
right in the face.
Right in the face. He could have been a good seeker. Not a seeker, chaser.
Yes.
Chaser, right in his face. He gets 50 points taken away, which is the same amount of points that were taken away when they got caught sneaking out late. So that's a pretty big chunk. Worth it, though. Mm-hmm. Super worth it. And again, another good Ron moment. So they get to Defense Against the Dark Arts, and Lupin's back. Yay! He's like, hey, y'all, sorry I was gone. Professor Snape gave you 3 rolls of parchment. That's whack. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I did write poor Hermione because, she was like,
I already did it.
yeah. They have class. They learn about, a nice little demon creature. They learn about the nice little demon creature, the Hinky Punks, which we've talked about already. They little Will-o'-the-Wisp. I wonder if he told them that they're the Will-o'-the-Wisp in southwestern England, yay! And that they were in the film Brave. Do they know that they're in the film Brave? Anyway, Harry hangs back after class because Lupin wants to talk to him. Lupin says, how about them Dementors, huh? I've never seen Daddy that mad. Harry's like, why do the Dementors bother me so much more than anybody else? Is it because I'm weak? But Lupin says no. And I wrote down to be somewhat comical, like, no, it's because your life is awful. Like, genuinely, it's because, and he says that Harry suffered awful things that nobody else really anywhere close to his age can relate to at Hogwarts. And then I wrote, they do a symbolism. So I wrote that down. Listeners, I haven't even looked at the book once so far. I've been crushing it, But they do a symbolism. So right after he says, the Dementors affect you worse than the others because there are horrors in your past the others don't have. And then it says, a ray of wintry sunlight fell across the classroom, illuminating Lupin's gray hairs and the lines of his young face. Aw, so it's like the light shining forth, Harry's not a weak, scared little kid. I mean, he's scared, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not defenseless or particularly in trouble because of this. It's normal. Like he's hearing truth. It's being brought into the light.
And I feel like this is also highlighting it's by someone who's obviously kind of got the same thing hanging over their head. Yeah,
because the dissonance between gray hairs, or the contrast between gray hairs and lines versus young face. Mm-hmm. So good symbolism right there, everybody. And then, I wrote down Lupin going to grab Harry's shoulder. This is one of my favorite moments in the entire series. I love it so much. And it's one of those moments where you're like, I wish he did, because what happens, listeners, you've read it, but just to say it again, Harry says that when the Dementors attack him, he can hear Voldemort murdering his parents. He says, I hear Voldemort murdering my mom. And it says, Lupin made a sudden motion with his arm as though to grip Harry's shoulder, but thought better of it. I love that so much, especially because, and it's not really much of a spoiler, we've kind of mentioned it a little bit. I think Lupin even said this already. He knew Lily. He knows them and had a pretty good relationship with them, to say the least. And to see this kid hurting like that, I enjoy that moment of Lupin almost desperately wanting to help Harry, but just thinking like, better of it, won't do it. Mm-hmm. Which I would argue might have been better for him to help him out. Yeah. But anyway, sad moment. Time marches on. The narrator jumps to December. Good news. Ravenclaw thwacked Hufflepuff. I mean, you must be happy about that, Emily.
Yeah.
So the G's still have a chance. That's nice, I guess. Christmas is approaching. And you know what that means, Emily? It's time for a Hogsmeade trip. Yay! I love where it says that everybody was happy about this except Harry. Ron and Hermione go off to do some Christmas shopping, some Cribba shopping. Harry's like, oh, gee, I'm just a poor little main character. I wish some mischievous troublemakers would show up and give me a plot device. And they do.
Yay.
Enter Fred and George, and they're kind of sus. Like the way that they call him over, because it says that they were like hiding in a classroom.
Oh, and they're like, psst.
Yeah, come over in here. It says, we've come to give you a bit of festive cheer before we go. And then they nod him into a empty classroom. And with an alakazam, they whip out a blank piece of parchment. And Harry says, what's this rubbish? But Fred and George explain to him, I do like Fred being like, you hurt me. You hurt me by saying that. Fred and George explain to him that this is a really super cool Snapchat map. I mean, Marauders map. And it lets you see everything and everybody in the castle at all times.
That's so convenient.
Yeah, so it's this really cool map that allows you to see the whole castle, the layout of it, and then you can see little dots of the people moving around. Listeners already probably know what it is. Emily, you have a special treat with us here today.
Oh my goodness, I do.
Yeah. What you got here? What you got? I'll take a picture of it later.
I went to Dragon Con, plug Dragon Con again, and I got this Marauders map signed by Fred and George themselves.
Oh, James and Oliver Phelps
Look at their
themselves.
handwritings to Emily. Mischief Managed Hero.
Aw.
And I will find a way to open it. But and this, inside one of them like wrote like little shoes.
That's really
It was
cool.
really cute. It was fun. They both shook my hand. I was like trembling, whole body trembling. I was like, be cool, be cool.
They're pretty tall, aren't they?
They're very tall. They're
Yeah.
very nice. Super sweet. Happy to be there.
That is one of like the differences between book to movies, that in the book, the twins are short and Ron is tall.
Yeah.
so-
And they like they
Mhm.
swapped it. I guess they couldn't really
I mean, yeah,
predict.
you can't plan for that.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. And yes, the twins, James and Oliver Phelps, like I love them. They're at
Yeah.
Harry Potter stuff all the time.
Aren't they doing the baking show?
Yeah, they have the baking
I think I watched
show.
like, the first episode. It's fun.
Mhm.
Cozy. We love those.
Yeah, they got a second season
Nice.
that'll be coming out soon. What did they do recently? I know they always do something for Back to Hogwarts,
Mm-hmm.
but they did something recently. Anyway, I just love that those two actors are still like involved in the Harry Potter fandom,
Yeah.
love doing it. You saw that Warwick Davis is going to be reprising his role as Flitwick in the series.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to do it all over again. And that's kind of
That
cool.
makes me so happy.
Yeah, but they got somebody else doing Grip Hook. So he doesn't get to double dip, you know,
Yeah.
just one double dip. But anyway, back to the podcast. But thank you for showing that. We'll put a picture of that and put that out on the gram for people to see. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, everybody. Anyway, my question on the Marauders map was, does it show all animals or just named animals? Because it not only does it show people, but it said Mrs. Norris at one
Yeah.
point. I think it even says Crookshanks. And I was like, how fascinating.
And like every kid, you like has a pet, right? Most of them. I
you
guess
just
that's
see
on the
Trevor
list.
hopping around, you know?
Interesting question.
Or would it
Or
just
is
say
it
like ant?
cats? Because cats are as smart as humans.
Maybe. That's true, because I only did see 2 cats. I didn't see anything else.
That's a good question.
Yeah. It does support the fan theory that Mrs. Norris is a former human being that got trapped as a
Yes.
cat and was Filch's
I
lover.
could see it. Lover.
But anyway. Anyway, they say they don't need it anymore, and they give it to Harry. And they say, "See you in Honeyduke's, bud," with a mischievous wink. Those rascals. Harry does remember Mr. Weasley's words about not trusting anything that can think for itself when you can't see where it keeps its brain.
Mm-hmm.
But then he does what we all do. He ignores advice he doesn't like and finds reasons to justify what he wants to do.
Yes.
Yeah. That's called maturity. So off he goes to sneak to Hogsmeade. He sees what spell on the map, Emily, to get down the one-eyed witch passageway?
Descendium.
That's right. I like how the map, like, it basically is like a freaking video game guide.
I know, and you don't see that in the movie. Either.
No, because
Sorry, I jumped ahead, but
no, that's all right. Yeah, he walks up to I mean, that's where we're at right now. He walks up to it, and in the book, it says he looks at the map because he doesn't know what to do with the statue, and he sees his little dot, and a freaking thought bubble appears. Descendium. Oh, that's helpful.
Okay.
I wonder if he could use it for other things. You know,
I know.
be like,
I'm thinking the same thing. Like,
you trying to talk to a girl.
I
You don't
would
know what to
wander
say.
the whole
It gives you
castle.
the idea of what to say.
Like, you know, when you're walking around in Hogwarts Legacy, you can kind of like, it like gives, like, click A right here. And you're like, so something happened. Or click, I forget the controller.
Yeah. Or even worse, going up to freaking portraits and getting into common rooms or secret passageways like that because it can just tell you because it's the Marauders map.
Tell you the password.
Maybe
not.
Maybe it only knows the one-eyed witch passageway thing because the Marauders like
Knew it.
knew it and put it in there.
Okay.
And that's part of the path is the spell.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Anyway, off he goes to sneak to Hogsmeade. He casts a spell, and he travels along the secret passage for a long time. I didn't realize I forgot how long this passageway was because it says for what felt like an hour he was walking, and then he gets to those steps. Feels like he's going up those steps for 10 minutes or something
Wow.
like that. So he's doing it for a long time, but eventually he pops out at Honeyduke's. and he just walks on out, no cloak. He didn't. I thought that was crazy. He didn't bring his invisibility
Yeah, the first
cloak.
time he doesn't have the cloak.
He says, "I'm Harry motherfreaking Potter. I can do what I want." He does note though that like there's tons of people out there. Nobody's going to notice me. There's a snowstorm. Nobody's going to see me. Anyway, he walks around the shop. Emily, did any of these candies stand out to you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
Oh, what if we picked the same candy? Because one of them bothered me.
Oh, like what stood out or what I would want to eat?
What would you want? What would you want?
I would probably pick between the honey-colored toffee or one of the hundreds of different kinds of chocolate because I love chocolate so much. But some of the fun stuff looked fun. I just would be afraid.
Yeah, the one that is just wild to me is the peppermint cream shaped like toads with the note they hop realistically in the stomach. What? What?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You know, here's the thing. People are going to like severely judge me for this. My wife is pregnant right now, and she's like, quite often she'll ask me to feel the baby kicking because she's quite far along now, and you know you can feel the baby kicking, and it's really cool. It's a miracle. It's awesome, but to me, it is a little creepy. When I see, don't get me wrong, I love that we're having a baby, and I think this is awesome, and my wife loves it too. But I'll have my hand on her stomach, and I'll see the little fist just like poop, poop, and I'm like, there's a person in there. What's it doing? Are you okay?
Yeah.
So this is even worse though, because it's like it's a weird creature, like
hopping and like the hopping feeling. Nothing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I do wonder what the exploding bonbons do.
Ew, I'm really trying to find that. Like exploding bon. I like every time I hear bonbon, I think the Bulgarian bonbon, Victor Crumb. Bluebell colored bubbles. I like that. They refused to pop for day. Oh, I don't like that actually. I want to pop them. Anyway, moving on from the candy.
Well, you didn't say which one you'd want.
Oh, I tried to just then, but then I couldn't find it. I would say, I mean, I like every flavored beans. I'd say levitating sherbet balls.
That sounds like fun.
Levitating, because freaking it'd be like that scene in the second movie, you know, when Crab and Goyle walk up on the muffins floating in the air.
Oh.
But this time it's almost like air bobbing for apples, but you could just eat the levitating thing in the air. You know,
yeah.
Kind of cool. But anyway, moving on. I mean, ultimately the real answer is I want to go to freaking the broomsticks, 3 broomsticks, and get butterbeer. A bear. So yes, that's my real answer. But anyway, he finds Ron and Hermione and gives them a little spook. You know, they're having their conversation. Their conversation is funny to me for several reasons. One, very convenient that they're talking about Harry as he walks up to them. And they're considering what he would want, you know, and it's funny that whenever Ron says, "What about these?" and Harry goes, "Not a chance." And then he drops the jar. But what's also funny to me, Emily, as a fan of My Immortal, you would know this. In My Immortal, the fanfic, Harry is a vampire.
Yes, he is.
So it's funny to me that in this moment, you know, Hermione says they're looking at blood-flavored lollipops. And she goes, no, Harry won't want one of these. They're for vampires, I expect. And I was like, in an alternate universe.
He is a vampire.
He is a vampire. So anyway, Harry tells them about the map. And Hermione says that he should hand it in. And they say, yeah, right. And they speculate and wonder if Black knows about any of the secret entrances. But like I said, they find ways to justify what they want. They're like, he probably doesn't know. It's no big deal. There's a Hogsmeade notice saying, hey, everybody, Dementors are going to be creeping around here at night, so no more nighttime Christmas lights looking, which is sad. That's basically sad. What that means is that you can't look at the nice Hogsmeade at night ambiance, which is one of my favorite things to do when I go to Universal.
Me too.
Right?
Major bummer.
I am a little sad. So by the time this episode comes out, I will have already been to Universal. Listeners, I'm going back. Yay. I said earlier that I wasn't, but I lied. No, I didn't lie. Things changed. I am going to go back, but I'm not going to get to go to the main 2 parks. I'm just going to Epic Universe and to see the new Wizarding World and to Volcano Bay at night. So it's like, Christmas at the beach, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to Animal Kingdom at Disney. Ooh.
Just Animal Kingdom?
Just Animal Kingdom, because my parents were like, hey, we want to go to Disney and we'll pay for your ticket and lodging. And I was like, Animal Kingdom sounds great. Let's go.
That's true.
So anyway, I wrote, what the heck, Fred? Why did because it's when Ron talks about
and he gave him an acid pop.
Yeah, and it burned a mother freaking hole in his tongue.
What about the manufacturers here? These are children.
That's true. I don't feel like this should have been put to market. Ron and Hermione show Harry around Hogsmeade. They're like, that's the Owlery. That's some other place here. That's Zonko's. Eventually, they take him to the Three Broomsticks for some butterbeer. Good friends. We get introduced to a new character, Madame Rosmerta, who's described as a curvy sort of woman with a pretty face. Ooh, JK, you getting spicy up in here. All right. And Ron likes her.
Mm-hmm.
And what in the movie, Ron fancies her. Of course he does. What are you talking about? Although, like, it's funny. In the book, you get the impression that, she's this somewhat like, I don't know, like the attractive soccer mom kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But in the movie, she's like a very harried, kind of frantic looking ish woman with like frizzy hair. And, which, hey, if that's your vibe, I'm not yucking anybody's yum. I'm just saying it didn't look like what I pictured. But no time to be checking out bartenders, Ron, because in comes McGonagall, Flitty, Haggy, and the Minister for Magic. All right. I wish I remember what they all ordered to drink. It's a funny scene showing when they shove Harry under the table because they're drinking his butterbeer. It's very comedic.
Lamp.
Yeah. They both of them put their hands on Harry's head, shove him under the table, and Harry has to hide under there this whole scene. And this is the most upsetting thing about this scene. We're going to talk about it.
Okay. Because
they learn all types of upsetting information.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the worst part of it for me. Like, I was Harry. The thing I would be most upset about is that I would have been made to be forced under there without butterbeer. Because it says he has an empty tankard. And so he doesn't get to like sip on it while he's down there.
What is your favorite way to drink it when you go to Universal? Because they serve it hot, iced, or like...
It's hot, cold, frozen.
Yeah, hot, cold, frozen.
Yeah, so cold is garbage to me. It tastes just like cream soda. So it's not garbage, but it's not worth the $7. Frozen is really good, especially on a hot day. And if you can get a lot of foam in there, the frozen, mix that sucker up, really good. But the best, and it's not even close for me, is the hot. I love the hot butterbeer. I know that it's like awful hot temperature-wise down in Florida already.
Yes.
But I still get it when I can anyway, even when it's like 100 degrees out, because it just tastes so good. I usually do it for nighttime then. But yeah, that's my favorite. What about you?
I like the cold because I don't like ice.
Oh no, I just crapped on your favorite. I got your yum.
Because that's just how it is. I don't think I ever tried the hot. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. So the difference with the hot one is that you can't get it at the big butterbeer like store looking thing that's out in the middle of the place. You have to go into the Hogshead to get hot butterbeer, or into the Three Broomsticks. You can only get it inside. You can't get it outside.
I mean, that's why, because I always went through the back to that little tiny one that no one knew about because there was always like no line.
I remember when I discovered that one, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
There's one over here.
There's like a huge line at the other one that's like kind of outdoors. Yeah, I went there a lot. I lived in Florida.
But anyway, so butterbeer, awesome. So we get to the part where my notes are a little sparse, so we're going to have to do this from memory.
All right.
So they get shoved under the table. The adults order some alcohol. Teachers can't do that in their own county, though. I wanted to mention that. So, like in the real world, if you're maybe not in every place, I don't know if they've changed the rules. I just remember
like this in the UK.
Yeah, that was my thought. So, listeners, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I kind of said that quickly. But in our world and in our county and the counties around it, public school teachers are not allowed to order alcohol out in public in their county. They have to like go to a different county. I don't know if that's still a rule, but it at least was a rule when I was growing up. I can ask my wife. She's a public school teacher, but that's kind of crazy. And so I was like, I don't know how good of a look that is for teachers to be doing. I mean, hey, listen, everything in moderation.
And they also have to like live at Hogwarts They
Gotta
don't get
put
to
up
go
with them
home.
kids.
Yeah, and I'm sure they don't get to drink it. Maybe they do. I don't know. And it's the old world.
Mhm.
It feels very medieval
Yeah.
in this world.
only had
So I'm
ale.
sure they don't have like laws like that. They don't have like whatever.
They clearly don't have as many laws as we do based on what they do. So the minister, it's gossip time. All right. So the minister says Sirius Black stinks. All right. He was awful. And Rosmerta's like, yeah, I know he's awful. And he's like, oh, yeah. Well, did you know he was super awful? He basically says, like, back in the day, like, do you remember who he used to hang out with all the time? And she's like, oh, yeah. He used to be like best buds with James Potter. What is it? They were two peas in the pod, two chickens in the stew. All right.
Just like brothers, those two.
That's right. And nigh inseparable they were. Always getting into trouble, always up to shenanigans. What does they even say? Like the biggest troublemakers that's ever Hogwarts ever seen. And Hagrid's like, I bet Fred and George could give them a little for their money. But we essentially learned that, like, according to Fudge, Sirius Black was like, I don't think I want to be a good boy no more. And he goes over to the bad side. But at the same time, the Potters still think he's their friend. And they were such good friends. Like, even Sirius was even the best man at James and Lily's wedding. But Dumbledore catches wind that Voldemort is going to come after them. And he's like, hey, y'all, you need to go into hiding. And they cast the Fidelius charm, which is a nifty little charm that lets you hide something with a secret keeper. Only one person knows the secret. Listeners, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't take a lot of notes here at the most important part of the chapter. But it's essentially the Fidelius charm. Flitwick explains it to us. I do like the moment in the book when he's explaining it, because essentially Rosmerta is a stand-in for the audience here.
Yes.
Because she goes, how does that work? So that Flitwick can explain it to us. But Flitwick says the Fidelius charm is a charm that if you want to keep a secret, you tell one person, and that person, if they share it with anybody, secret's out. But if they don't, then, like, Emily, if you were to go into hiding and I was your secret keeper, somebody could be at your house looking through the window and not even know you were there, wouldn't even see you.
Nice.
Yeah. But crap of all craps, you should make somebody trustworthy, your secret keeper. Dumbledore was like, I think you should probably do me. But they end up making Sirius the secret keeper, and he turns out betraying them. And so I think I did a good job summarizing that. We also get, and then Rosmerta freaks out. Everybody's like, oh no, he was awful. Hagrid tells his story. Oh, and also should mention Sirius is Harry's godfather.
Yes,
all right,
big,
we didn't include
important
that. That's pretty important,
detail.
actually. It's funny because they say it like I guess that's one Transfiguration. They say it at the beginning of I'll say in Transfiguration.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, then we get Hagrid's story, because Hagrid's like, oh yeah, I saw him the night that Harry that they died, that James and Lily died, and freaking Sirius showed up trying to take him from me. He wanted Harry, but I was like, sorry, no can do. Got to give him to Dumbledore. That's not a good Hagrid. Got to give him to Dumbledore. And then Sirius gives him his bike, and Hagrid's like, man, I can't believe, one, that I comforted him when really he was just sad that, his master died. And I also, I should have known when he gave me the bike, because he was just trying not to be tracked anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was doing. I like that he keeps shouting, and McGonagall's like, Hagrid, chill. We also get the Pettigrew story. We find out that Peter Pettigrew, who was another one of their friends, always tagging along with them, he tried to stop Sirius the next day. And Sirius was like, bro, you're a third wheel. And then he destroyed him. Right? He blew him to smithereens.
I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't.
Yeah. If you know, you know. And then Fudge goes, yeah, and I saw Sirius the other day when I was visiting the prison. He seemed like kind of a chill dude, not going to lie. He was all like, hey, can I do the crossword on your newspaper? And I was like, all right, weird, sure. And that's basically the end of our story, because they all get up and they leave they're basically like, we've given enough exposition at this moment.
Yeah.
Time to go. And they leave the bar. And that's the end of the chapter. Yay! Ooh, we made it through. I had no notes on that, but no notes. You know what I'm saying? So now time for our favorite lines. Emily, what are some of your favorite lines from this chapter?
Hold on.
Hold.
The Kindle is loading.
beep, bop.
Beep, beep, boop, bop.
I'll say my first one was, so when near the beginning of the chapter, when Harry realizes what those voices were, no one else heard echoes in their head of their parents dying because Harry knew who that screaming voice belonged to now. Again, the way that Jim Dale delivers that is so haunting. It's so heavy. Your heart hurts for Harry in that moment. And it's also like a really cool reveal over what Harry had been hearing. What's one of your favorite lines?
Mine is from George. Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs, sighed George, patting the heading of the map. We owe them so much. Noblemen, working tirelessly to help a new generation of lawbreakers, said Fred solemnly.
I like that. I picture them like, as one of them's talking, the other's like eyes up, saluting.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the air that's being said with it. One of mine was, both Ron and Hermione had decided to remain at Hogwarts. And though Ron said it was because he couldn't stand 2 weeks with Percy, and Hermione insisted she needed to use the library, Harry wasn't fooled. They were doing it to keep him company, and he was very grateful. Aww. I love that. And one of my favorite things about Harry, and I've said this before, but is just how self-aware he is, to pick up on these little things like that. He's like, they're being nice to me, and he's grateful for it. What's one of your other ones?
It has nothing to do with weakness, said Professor Lupin sharply, as though he had read Harry's mind. The Dementors affect you worse than the others because there are horrors in your past that the others don't have, which we talked about this.
Yeah,
but I think it's nice to have an adult finally recognize to Harry officially, like, stuff has happened to you. You can have this burden for a little bit, and you can hold that, and it's okay. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to like go through that. That doesn't mean you're weak. Means you feel. One of my favorite lines, I like this a lot. So after Hermione is telling them that they need to turn in the Marauders map, they're like, no, we're not going to do it. Are you going to report me? Harry asked her, grinning. Oh, of course not. But honestly, Harry. And that seems somewhat insignificant, but I like it a lot because I love Harry and Hermione's relationship. Yeah. And I just, it's a very brother-sisterly moment. Him like, especially with him saying he was grinning and her response. I enjoyed that a lot, and I could just visualize it. But anyway, what's another one of your favorites? Mine is this whole exchange. Oh, yeah? Just because it's so, I can imagine like this classroom full of kids. Lupin's like trying to calm down. It's not fair. He was only filling in. Why should he give us homework? We don't know anything about werewolves. 2 rolls of parchment. Did you tell Professor Snape we haven't covered them yet? Lupin asked, frowning slightly. The babble broke out again. Yes, but he said we were really behind. He wouldn't listen. 2 rolls of parchment. The 2 rolls got me mentioned twice. I like that. I love it. And a correction, because I think earlier I said 3 rolls. That was wrong. It's 2 rolls. 2. But that was good. That's good. Another one of mine. Harry drank deeply. This is when he's drinking the butterbeer. Harry drank deeply. It was the most delicious thing he'd ever tasted and seemed to heat every bit of him from the inside. And that's how I feel every time I take a drink of that delicious nectar of the gods, known as butterbeer. Let's see. And did you have any more? I think that's it for me. That's it for you. And that is it for me as well on favorite lines. So now moving on to our Transfiguration section, listeners, our differences that the books made from the movies. Again, flying by the seat of our pants, we're going to look at it. Oh, what was the one I said earlier? Oh, so one of them was that in the movie, when Harry, obviously like the whole way that Harry learns about that he is Sirius Black's godson and the betrayal goes down entirely different. In the book, it takes place in the lower floor of the 3 broomsticks, but in the movie, it takes place in an upper room, and it's just McGonagall, Rosmerta, and Fudge. But in the, like we said in the book, had all those teachers there as well. But they all go upstairs in the movie, and Fudge breaks the news there. Fudge and McGonagall to Rosmerta. Another thing that's different about it as well, and also Harry brought his invisibility cloak this trip, unlike in the book. But another thing that is different, and I don't know why I keep harping, it's not that significant, but
In the movie, they make it this big reveal that he is Sirius Black's son or godson. But in the book, they drop it like at the very beginning in a very casual manner. They're like, oh, yeah, he's Sirius Black's godson. But in the movie, they say it. And what's worse is
To this day.
Harry Potter's godfather. You know,
to this day, Sirius Black remains Harry Potter's godfather. Like, it's like, whoa. And
she was channeling her freaking, what's the TV show she's in?
Downton Abbey.
Her Downton Abbey girl. That's what she was doing in that scene.
She's dropping the tea, like the drama. They like essentially melded the two Hogsmeade trips together because he's in his invisibility cloak, and we also see in the movie the Shrieking Shack scene where he has that interaction with Malfoy. We don't see that till later, so I won't like spoil it too much. But I'm like, dang, I guess I understand why. I get it,
but we love Hogsmeade.
Yeah, it would have been more fun to explore that a little bit.
Also, one more quick notice about the overhearing the teachers talking about Sirius Black is that in the book, when Harry hears them, you know, he has Ron and Hermione with him, but in the movie, Ron and Hermione are not there. And that leads to the infamous, I'll be ready. And when he does, I'm going to kill him.
He was their friend.
Here's the thing. That scene gets made fun of a lot. I like Radcliffe's acting when he says he was their friend.
I do too, actually.
The kill him part is kind of cringy now.
I'm going to kill him. All right.
But you know what? He's freaking, 13 years old.
He's feeling those emotions.
Yeah. He's angsty. Freaking, I'm trying to remember what his name was in the My Immoral version, but Vampire Harry. Then the other thing is, let's see, anything else? It talks about the origin of the Marauders map. I guess another difference is when Fred and George give him the Marauders map in the book, you know, they very, cheekily call him to the side. They're like, hey, come into this classroom. In the movie, they're outside. They see his foot. He's already trying to sneak into Hogsmeade. You know, in the book, he's going back to his dorm. But in the movie, he's trying to sneak to Hogsmeade. They grab him and frog march him to a stairwell. And then they give him the Marauders map there. But anyway, I think that's really most of the transfigurations for this section. You know, we don't get to see the Hogsmeade or the Honeyduke's passageway. We don't see that at all. We do see Harry like pop up from it, but we don't see his journey there or him sneaking into when he first uses Descendium and gets into that passageway. But that's all we got for transfigurations. Now, moving on to our golden snitches, which are, like we said, Lord, Tids, and Beats. First one I have was Davy Gudgeon, because they mentioned him here. Remus Lupin mentions him here in this chapter, saying that, you know, people used to play a game trying to get near enough to touch the trunk, talking about the Whomping Willow. In the end, a boy called Davy Gudgeon nearly lost an eye, and we were forbidden to go near it. Here's the thing, listeners. There's nothing else about him. I looked him up. I was like,
they really tried to flesh this out and make it look like they had info, and it's like the same stuff you see in the book.
Oh, the other one that I had was the Gilly Water. Gilly Water was a wizarding beverage that was sold in the Three Broomsticks Inn in Hogsmeade and the Leaky Cauldron in Diagon Alley. So here's the thing. There's some stuff mentioned about Gilly Water that Future Barry's going to come in and say, because I do remember learning that, apparently, Gilly Water has a different history in America, the wizarding world in America.
Oh.
Apparently, there was something about, there was an uprising because during, in America, what was it? We had Prohibition. We had Prohibition in the early 1900s, and the wizards tried to do that too. But the wizards freaked out, and there was some slogan they came up with saying you can't take our Gilly Water, you can't do it. So Future Barry will come in and tell you listeners that wonderful story. Barrow, Future Barry here. I was actually somewhat mistaken about what I was just talking about with Gilly Water. I was actually thinking of something called Giggle Water. Easy mistake to make, Barry. I know, listeners. Thank you for saying that. But Giggle Water, it's an entirely different thing. It's actually something from the Fantastic Beasts series. I'll say it here, though, just because it is kind of funny. So here's a bonus golden snitch for you guys. Giggle water was a wizarding alcoholic beverage that was circulated in the United States. True to its name, giggle water may have caused the drinker to laugh out loud when consumed. One known ingredient included chortle extract. I don't know what that is. And it appeared to be colorless. Pinnock was one brand of giggle water sold in the 1920s. And this is the thing that I thought was really funny. Despite the American no mages enforcing prohibition during the 1920s, Serafina Pickery's stance on the matter was, as she most famously put it to her chief of staff, that the giggle water is non-negotiable. And there you have it, listeners. That's your bonus golden snitch. But anyway, I think that was actually all that I had on golden snitches. There wasn't too many. I did have a note about, there was one more. So the earthy passageway was described for the passageway from the One-Eyed Witch all the way to Honeydukes. You can actually look at that passageway and go through it yourself in Hogwarts Legacy, the video game. It's a really cool part of the story. I love how much Hogwarts Legacy expanded the world and lets you live in that castle. But if you want to see that, you can do that in Hogwarts Legacy. And that's about all the golden snitches I have for this week. So now we're about to finish up. We're about to move on to our restricted section.
Restricted.
Our Prison of Azkaban, as it were, for this book. Ooh, yeah. I came up with another one. All right. We had the freaking third floor corridor. We had the Chamber of Secrets, and now the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Nice.
I've already gone through and I've come up with one for each one. It's going to be dope.
Beautiful.
I won't spoil them though. That's for another an even more restricted section. But before we get to that, anybody who doesn't want to be spoiled, thank you so much for listening this week. A pleasure to have you. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we will be covering chapters 11 and 12. Hope to see you then. But if you don't want any spoilers, bye.
Bye.
All right, now moving on to our restricted section. Emily, I got a few things. Do you want me to rattle mine off first?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, at the beginning of Grim Defeat, chapter 9, the kids are speculating like, oh man, how lucky is it that he attacked on the one night that we're not in our rooms? He must have just forgotten his days and been mixed up. But we all know, Sirius Black, innocent man, he's actually going for Peter Pettigrew.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like he knew exactly what day it was. That's why he attacked on that night when they were out of their dorms, so he could get Pettigrew by himself.
Yep.
So that's...
I highlighted the same thing, and I put, did Sirius do this on purpose?
Yeah.
Question mark. I'm sure he did.
The other one is, Dumbledore says that as long as I am headmaster, no Dementor will cross the threshold of this school or this castle. That ends up not being true because at the end of book 4, Barty Crouch Jr. gets his soul sucked out by a Dementor.
Well,
What do you mean, well?
You're right. It's not true, but it's not. He deserved it.
It wasn't Dumbledore's fault. He didn't even know what was going on, and it was like completely...
Oh, yeah, that's when Fudge was on his...
Yeah, Fudge brought he's like, it was for my protection, Dumbledore. That's why I brought a Dementor in. But that does happen. The other one I wrote... one thing I kind of hinted at it in the coverage, but I'm wondering if Sirius was the reason all the Dementors showed up at the field. You know?
Yeah.
Because I think Lupin says that like all that joy going on and all that life after people were like that, they're told they can't go into Hogwarts, but seeing a huge thing like that, it looks like a feast to the Dementors.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason that's given. But I wonder if they might have sensed Sirius as well, because he's in the stands. He is the doggo watching.
Isn't it harder for them to pick up his emotions because his emotions are much simpler when he's a dog?
Yeah.
I feel like he thought, like, I could probably go watch him play.
Yeah, I could get a few. You see the boy chop up, see what he's made of, see if he's like his pop. All right, see if he's cut from the same cloth, as it were.
And he is.
I mean, didn't seem like it. He fell up. Lost to the Hufflepuffs. You know what I'm saying? The souffle poofs.
Hey, but he made a comeback.
That's true. Spoilers. We're in the restricted section. Finally, my last restricted section is the Whomping Willow, because Lupin makes mention that it was planted the year that he joined.
Yeah.
And what he doesn't say is it's planted because he started going to school there. It was the entrance that protected the pathway to the Shrieking Shack. Oh, and it is also somewhat connected to as well later when they are speculating about what secret passageway Sirius Black could get into. They immediately rule out the Whomping Willow secret passage through the Shrieking Shack.
Who could possibly get into
there? Yeah. And that just happens to be the actual one that he's going through. So anyway, those are all my restricted sections. Did you have any others?
Let me see.
Hopefully I didn't steal everything from you, but it's okay.
You might have. Hold on.
We're on the Harry Potter wiki right now, and like when you're on the wiki, there are pictures on the side, and Romilda Vane's actress is just staring at us at the moment. It's very unsettling.
Dang, I think you might have stolen.
Oh no, I took everything.
I think there are like some restricted sections that apply specifically to the book, but like when Harry's talking about like Sirius Black and then like Lupin the whole time, this is like when he's talking about his parents, and Lupin like kind of wants to go reach for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talks about Sirius like just a few like paragraphs down, and Lupin like drops his briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he has these knee-jerk like these are people that were my friends,
mm-hmm.
and we're like kind of getting little like hints of that.
Yeah, Lupin is prone to giving the audience symbolisms all the time.
Yeah, for real.
Giving it away each time. That's one of the things I love so much about these books is that on these rereads, you catch up on the significance of some of these things. And I forget what is said in that moment. Like Harry says something about Sirius being able to break out of Azkaban or something like that. And that's when he drops the briefcase. But yeah, he's just remembering his friends. And, I hinted at it earlier, but he was also, and the movies do a terrible job. They don't explain it at all. But that group of people, Pettigrew, Sirius, Lupin, and James were all besties. And he's obviously spent a lot of time with Lily. So affects him a lot. But yeah.
Oh, I thought of one that I literally was like in the shower, like I like dialed into it. Hold on. It's when I won't find the exact quote, but it's when Fudge is talking about how it was so eerie when he went to visit Sirius, and Sirius seemed so sane.
Mm-hmm.
And like we know because he's an animagus and he's transforming into a dog. But he makes a note of saying that Sirius asked for his paper to do the crossword.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how he saw the picture of Ron's family.
Mm-hmm.
And in that picture, he saw the rat.
Yeah.
Who was Peter Pettigrew.
That's right. Because listeners, if you remember, Ron's family was in the newspaper because they got to go to Egypt. His family won the prize that the ministry did. And so, Scabbers was being on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's how Sirius saw it. Another thing, too, is that a reason Sirius, like that he gives later for saying that he was able to stay sane is because he knew he was innocent. He's like, they suck out all the happy memories, but it wasn't a happy thought knowing that I was innocent. It was just a true thought. And he says he held on to that one. But yeah, that's really all I got. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Fantastic. Well, that's it for our restricted section. Listeners, thank you so much for listening. Emily, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to show all the listeners your wonderful Dragon Con pick. Now that you've achieved such stardom, such fame.
Right.
All right. Listeners can find you where?
At heart.sick with 2 C's, no K at Instagram.com.
Yeah.
You can follow me if you want.
Well, you better follow her.
You don't have to.
I like those memes of I've seen a new fad right now is the wife or girlfriend or whatever will look at the screen and say like, my husband's really excited about this. Like,
you better listen.
Yeah. And he's like over there. So these are my Legos. And she's behind him like, oh yeah.
I'm listening.
That's essentially what's going on.
Yeah.
You're like, if you want to follow me, I'm like, you follow me right now. But anyway, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Retold. Artwork for this podcast was created by Rachel Ortlip. Music was created by Taylor Jarvis. And the Retold podcast is produced by me. That's right. I made this.